and welcome to one of the best shows in the Star Wars universe. This is Sean.
This is Alil. We are?
I said one. I said one of the. I ain't saying we are.
We're so good. We just talk over each other. This is Steve.
And this is Ed. And Sean's absolutely right.
Thank you. See, man, listen, not kudos, man.
I don't know. I don't like inflating Sean's ego. I mean, it's
no, you should never inflate my ego.
We're talking about the show, not Sean.
It's true.
I just want to say something before we start. I was on one of the shows, Spice Runners Lounge, and probably like a couple months ago. It was a while back, and one of the guys on there was a really cool guy, man. His name was Scott Berry, and he just had a heart attack over the weekend. And I just want to give him a shout out, man. Hopefully he's doing well. They do have a GoFundMe for him, man, right now. His wife, she's an awesome Star Wars fan as well. Her name is Janine, and they're out there, man, and they people are really supporting it, and I just want to give him a shout out and just be like, man, I hope he feels better. But they do have a GoFundMe. If you check it out, it is on, Eben is posting it, Spice Runners Lounge. Yeah, I'll put it in a link and let people know. But yeah, man, just support that guy, man. He's a good dude, really, really great guy, man. And definitely, man, I hope he feels better and everything. Yeah, move point, just make sure he feels better out there. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Anybody get anything for Star Wars? A little, god damn it, if you don't get to this Disney park and get this mouse droid, do you see how big that thing is?
I did. I saw because I saw George opening his, and I was like, damn. I was like, I'm gonna need a forklift to carry it out of the damn park.
Yeah, man, that thing is.
I don't know if he got it here. I know they were selling it over. I don't know if it's here.
It is. It was here. I know George got it, but George got it. He was in Florida, so
it was. He might have ordered it. I don't know.
No. They had them. They had them in the park. But you just had to get a QR code, and then you had to go into it, or it was a lot because it was on May 4th anyway. But they'll have more a little.
Yeah, I'll be at the
but I don't know if you're gonna be able to, if you can send it from the park, that'd be great. So
what's up, Al?
If I'm there, I'll pick out. If not, I'm might be driving up your way to watch a football game. So we'll see.
Hey,
I'll have a carload of stuff for you guys. So
I appreciate that.
And then Steve will be crying the entire weekend.
Fernando,
go on. Do not disturb. I'm gonna take myself out of y'all's feeds and shit.
We'll find a way to get him out of here.
We'll get you out of here.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm terrified of planes still, man.
Steve,
scary.
I'm feeling the same way you feel right now, bro.
Why do you think I would drive?
Yeah, you do drive everywhere.
I'm just saying. I mean, I've never had any issues flying before, ever. But I just say in the last 2 years, it's been a lot more an uptick, if you would say.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's why I drive everywhere.
Always. Anything else, man, besides before we get into this Andor review? There's some news, but we may hold it off to the end. Man, listen, Andor is going to take a lot of shit.
Andor is the news.
So did we all watch all 3 episodes last night?
Oh, fucking yes. Of course. Well, I know I did. I know a little didn't.
So
I watched 2, and then I watched the 3rd one today.
How did you go to bed with only watching 2?
I was tired.
Especially after episode 11. When it ended, I was like, fuck you. Next.
What up?
Because it ends on a note, man. So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. So listen, we're gonna get right into it, man. We gotta play that spoiler review.
I just realized though that I could start watching them at 6. I didn't know that till yesterday.
Oh yeah, we talked about it on the show.
I've been waiting till 9 every time. I've been like, there's been some times where I'm like, fuck, I'm tired to watch all 3. And then yesterday, I'm like, I'll turn on Disney Plus. I'm like, it was like 6:10. I'm like, let's just see. I'm like, son of a bitch. I was done watching that shit at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you both said the mind explosion thing, and I'm through 2 episodes. I'm like, well, something happened in episode 3, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to bed.
I wasn't sure what I was talking about. I wasn't sure when I got that text. I was like in the beginnings of episode, I think 11, and then I got to the moment though, and then I was like, it sent the same emoji back. Like I know what he was talking about.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you
I
one
still
thing.
don't know what you're talking about. So I'm
After it
curious.
was over, I turned on
Rogue One.
one because I just
I
wanted
did too.
how it played.
Nice.
I was like, how does this play in the beginning? I was like, oh shit, they did that really like yo.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna get into the spoiler real quick, man. But I got a whole review for this. Let's play that spoiler alert, man. And now I know how we get down. All right, man. Listen, I was gonna say Rogue One, Andor season 2. I'm gonna start off my review real quick because we got to review this as a whole. But I'm gonna say one thing: this was a directorial master fucking class. When I tell you this is one of the best TV shows, one of the best. I ain't saying it is the best. It's one of the best TV shows. And probably one of the best Star Wars TV shows, but there ain't that many, so it's not, it is what it is. Just different like angles and different positions that like the camera went in that I just felt like I was just like, damn, that's really good. And I watched, I think was it Screen Crush that broke it down, and they break down like the
I didn't
angles.
watch the breakdown yet. Yeah.
Man, listen, when I watched that shit, I was like, God damn, like they did all that, and you don't even realize it if you're not like into it like that. Like I'm not into it, but when I watched that, I was like, oh shit, that's masterful how they did it. The darkness, the lightness, like you die in the light, you died in the dark. Like it was just like a lot of amazing shit, man. And this season alone, just the storyline, the storytelling, everything in full, Steve, it reminded me of Game of Thrones. And fucking Game of Thrones, is the shit for me. Me and Steve break that shit. We love it. So like watching this is just like it's watching Game of Thrones, man. And it sucks that it's at an end. But I hope that going forward, which I'm pretty sure they won't, I hope directors use this as a template for Star Wars shows or Star Wars movies. You don't have to follow it, but there's just different aspects of location and different little things that work so well within the Star Wars universe. And we didn't get any Jedis, we didn't get any of that extra shit, and you still told a great story. So for me, man, this thing gets a hero. Our rating system, which I always forget to tell everybody, if you're new to the show, our rating system is from hero to 0, and 0 is the lowest. We got a sidekick, and hero is what it is the best. And if we all agree on it, it gets a fucking superhero. So listen, I'm gonna say it right now: Andor season 2 is a hero for me. Alil, I'm gonna pass off to you.
Will we agree?
I don't know. You about to give me a good aspect on it, so go ahead. That's why I'm giving it to you. You take it and tell me how you feel about it.
So here's the thing with Andor this season. So I'm looking at the season as a whole, right? And agree. Acting, killed it. Directing, killed it. Suspense, killed it. It was visually great. Real world felt in. I just felt that there were some. It's a hero. I'm giving it a hero. It is a hero, but similar to other things that we've talked about and seen, like I kind of felt that for as long as it was, that it lacked a little more action than I would have liked, and in each year clip thing, it just kind of it felt weird how it ended. Like every year that it would go in, it just had a weird ending because it felt incomplete. Every 3-episode arc felt incomplete. This was the only 3-episode arc that kind of felt complete because I can go turn on Rogue One and complete, right? So it's interesting how it was done. Again, I enjoyed it. But it's not my favorite Star Wars show. And that's, I still look at season 1 of Mandalorian as that high watermark.
Is it
because it had everything? It had everything, right? Especially when you're going into a week-to-week thing. I think you need to have some of those real high action pieces. And I think this three. I don't want to go because we're already in spoilers, but like Luthen was such a great character, and like I kind of was a little like let down with how he went out. Right? I love the setup, but I wish there was a little bit more to it, and it just kind of like felt a little let down. Why am I drawing a blank on his assistant's name?
Clea.
Clea, right? Like Clea, again, a great, and then like when she got hurt, it kind of just like it felt like they just shoot her to the side. Because
it felt like she kind of went down a little bit.
Right, we needed to get to the end. We need to shoot her to the side, and I'm like, but you built such a great, stunning, emotional character, and then you're going with her backstory through that thing, and then it's like we need to get to the point of Andor getting on this ship to get to where he needs to go, so we need to shoot it to the side. And I kind of was a little disappointed in that. Again, it's a hero, great, because we get, but her story, it's not in Rogue One.
It's not.
So
I think she was just an add-on character that kind of came into her own, and we didn't really. That was a story. You was like, "Fuck!" Like, where's more of that at? And I get it.
Yeah, and so like those aspects, I was a little disappointed because I'm looking at some of these 3-episode arcs, and we've talked about it. Like, I felt like a little dragged in areas, especially those first 3 where Andor. I mean, the first 6 episodes, Andor was basically not even in the show. It felt like, like, so I'm a little bit, a little bit torn on it. It's a hero. I'm not saying it's not great. I think it's great. It's a very high watermark. These are just nits to pick, but again, fantastic. Ending was great. I don't want, we're not going to go into predictions where we think things are going to happen, because I was a little, Alex had a prediction all of a sudden out of nowhere. I wasn't even thinking straight while I was watching the very end, where you saw Bix. You know what? I might agree with you, Mando. Because I liked season 1, but I do think this one was a better season than season 1, but not season 1, but not Mando season 1. I think Andor season 1. I think this was a little bit better.
All right, Lil, pass the torch already. Get it on.
All right, sorry. Well,
so long-winded.
You wanted a breakdown.
I love you. I know. Give it to Steve.
Me? Is it me now?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, I don't have any of the negative Nancy shit that Lo was just talking about. Hero all the way. Action, I don't need the popcorn action, because the fucking tension and the way that it's filmed and the pacing, the droning sounds in the background, the constant ticking clock that is enough. I'm high. I'm stressed 90% of the time watching the show, because I know something's about to pop off. And the little bits of action we get are fucking awesome and real. And I'll give you a hint for how to make Star Wars better. Make the Empire fucking scary. Make them actually fucking useful, and
they were
competent. And if you do that, suddenly you have a fantastic way to tell the story. When they're just a bunch of buffoons that are blind and their guns don't work, it's kind of silly. I don't know. I'm really high on the realistic aspect of this show. How it was, just everything, just the character moments. Everybody was humanized. That old general guy that's been hanging out with Dedra with the gnome hair, the whole time. What's his name? I can't remember the old guys' names. What I'm talking about? The old guy with Dedra. There you go. That guy. Pendergast. That guy. His fucking arc was nuts. His whole thing at the end, I was like, God. And the way that they filmed that, I was just like, Emmys, throw them all at the fucking show.
Yo, Steve,
highest of heroes, the highest. This is the best Star. Like, you know what? It's hard to say. Although it's hard to say best Star Wars, right? Because this is a different flavor than Mandalorian. So it's hard to compare the two, because Mandalorian is way better than Andor at certain things, but Andor is way better than almost anything else at other things. And it's the way that the worlds feel lived in. Even in Mandalorian, some of those worlds feel like set pieces. CG. Some of their because it is, this shit, I'm in the world. every single time. It's hard to question logistics while watching Andor because everything feels so fucking real. I'm so high on this shit.
It is because they
It is the
built all
best.
these sets.
It is
They
my
built all
favorite
these.
Star Wars show right now. I mean, I haven't seen the next Mandalorian season. It's been a minute since I checked in with Mando and Grogu. But right now, I'm super high on it. So, highest of heroes from me, baby. Ed?
Well, now that we've gotten through the entire season, without question, it is a hero for me. Loved it. There were some highs and lows. As far as an overall story, Sean said it, this is masterful. I mean, the way that they do character development, the way that they invoke emotion, you're on your edge of your seat. We know what happens to some of these characters. We already know. And yet you're still in anticipation. Your heart's racing as you're watching it, which is just
You got to
shows
tell
the
yourself.
show.
Like, he lives through this. He has to, right?
Exactly.
Right?
But
because I don't know how he's gonna.
To show how good they made this. So I think that from a storytelling, character development, the camera angles, I think it is the best Star Wars from that. It is not my favorite, and there is still opportunity to make it better. I think Sean's right. It would be great if they took some of this and said, hey, this is kind of just a general template for what makes for good storytelling, whether it's television, whether it's movie. I mean, I would like it to be toned down a little bit. It is a bit heavy for Star Wars. There could be some other aspects that are more Star Wars like in it. I think K2SO helps bring it there a little bit more, but overall, I loved it. I think the worst part about all of it is that it's over. All that hype and anticipation, and yeah. So, but I did the same thing. I went right into Rogue One, and it does bookend and just flow. The only thing that feels a little off is the music. The music is so different between Andor and Rogue One. That's the only thing that kind of is like, ooh, that's just a little jarring.
And
but
some of the language, you know, when Andor is talking about, like when he was talking about Galen Erso and stuff like that, how he was talking to people, like it
felt
didn't
like
he was very military and like he wasn't there, you know, he was, you know, it was he felt more like not a lone gunman, but kind of like his own person. And here he was very part of the unit, you know.
Well, what it is Andor is such a complete character in this show, is that when you go to Rogue One, that character wasn't written to where you got a whole 2 seasons out of a character. We seen that motherfucker grow from this to this to this to this.
And one of the other things, a striking thing from Rogue One to Andor is the fact that Diego Luna de-ages himself and loses about 15 pounds. So, you know, there is a jarring difference, but it's still the way that
she looked different, you know,
the way that
like
they blend them together. When he puts that jacket on, you're like, God damn, so good.
So I know, and Lil's point is, I agree that by doing these kind of 1-year segments, it seems a little off. But what did you guys all think about them releasing them in the arc in its entirety? I mean,
I like that. I did. I just kind of wished, again, like as we talked about, like it felt that every arc didn't have a full conclusion. It was just kind of like we're off, and then it's like, well, what the hell happened within the year? You get some back talk in the next episode, but it doesn't really fill in all the pieces, you know.
I guess
like when you see Andor and Bix together, like, you know, on Yavin, like, well, what the hell was going on that got them there, you know? And it's like you're invested in the characters and everything, and then of course we find out that stuff was going.
We know something was going on.
But I guess for me the year breaks don't, like, for me it was fine. Like at the end of one episode, it's like, you know, K2SO is barely coming to life, and the next one they have backstory that I don't have to fucking sit through them learning how to, you know, this and that and the other. Like, they're just friends now. It's been a year. They've been on missions. They're hanging out, playing, you know, just
but there's a bigger story that I don't need to know the intricacies of K2SOs being reprogrammed. I'm talking about like some of the story beats of like the council being there and like how
I guess what you wanted was like a 5-season show, and Disney was never going to give us that. Like that. The problem is they had to get to certain beats in a certain amount of episodes, and we already got more than season 1 with this one, and they were all longer. So it's like,
but I guess there was fat in each of those years that could have been cut in to toss in a little bit.
You could have cut out all that shit where they were hanging out with those 2 broken ships in the jungle. You could have cut all that out.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole it's a whole episode that's like cut, you know.
Was it dominoes? Like I feel like they were playing dominoes.
It will be guaranteed.
I was gonna say I've got a couple of the different games because my kids love playing whatchamacallit, Sabacc.
James makes a good point. Did Bail Organa say shit? I thought he did say shit.
Did.
And I'm like, is
shit a word in Star Wars?
Yeah, is like, did they be cussing in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago? Saying shit, fuck, what have you? This is a relatively new word.
Because the alternative in the Star Wars universe is poodoo, which would have sounded stupid in the context of the show.
Yeah, all right. That's
so.
Well, and it's like I think didn't Han use hell at some point in one of the movies?
Oh yeah,
I'll see you in hell.
So yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, I mean, do they have hell? Do they believe it?
It just kind of pulls you out when you hear like real words like that. Wait a second.
No, I agree.
And I do agree with Lil on some characters getting the short shrift. I think that, Luthen's assistant did get kind of, I don't really know if there wasn't really much for her left to do after that. Was kind of her arc. What happened with her was kind of it. Like then she goes to Yavin and like, we'll see what happens.
And just lives in Yavin. But that's the thing. Like I guess the thing is because they did so much of her backstory with that to kind of flesh her out even more, which I loved. And I was hoping then that would set something off big, and I thought something was going to happen because she disappeared into the forest before
If you don't have her backstory, then what she does in that hospital room doesn't have the impact that it does. Up to that point, she's simply the assistant and like his right-hand man. It's during that episode you find out that that's his fucking daughter, basically, and it makes that impact so much more. But now we're getting into story beats, so. We got slides and shit I'm sure we're going to talk about. So,
it's good. And take it away, buddy. I ain't going to let you go. You put the work in, so I'm going to let you do your thing, bro.
It's fine with me either way. These were actually the shortest episodes of the entire 12 that we received.
Yeah, I was shocked. I probably I didn't pay attention to how long the last episode was. I probably would have stayed up and watched it if I saw it was only 49 minutes. But I was like, I'm going to bed because I assumed it would be like an hour and a half. But then it wasn't.
So
end game in this thing.
When it opens, and I was telling Sean about this before we came on. I've been watching a lot of. Surprise, and not only watched it several times, but I'm looking at anything else that's out there. And I don't think anybody else has picked up on this yet. The sound effect at the opening scene, kind of the alarm, and she comes in, it's the same sound as the Alien motion tracker. And it does the same thing. It speeds up just as if danger's getting closer. It's fantastic.
And it is.
After realizing it, I'm like, yeah.
It's the sound design. They do that with, like you're saying, those beeps, those whirs, the hospital noises. And then behind all that, that's constantly droning and raising the tempo. Behind all that, there's this little fucking
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it just gets your fucking, you're just like, I feel anxious.
Maybe I didn't because I was on my anxiety meds watching this, so maybe it just calmed me. I was like, I that's the thing. I didn't feel you're
not supposed to medicate yourself to be able. You have to feel this show, Lil, you son of a bitch.
Well, you know what? I had a hard day and I had to take my pills. But I get what you're saying, Steve. Like there is that sense, and they do a great job. But I still think it's taken away because, again, we know, you know what I mean? Like, and I know you feel it. Like, how is he going to get out of this? But he's going to get out of this. Like, that's my biggest.
But we knew it, but we didn't know. But the other characters we didn't know, and that
we did because the other guy with him and K2.
But
the only one we didn't know was her.
But I'll tell you this, without getting into full spoilers. You know,
We are
keep
in
talking about. We
spoilers.
already
We are in
knew. We are,
spoilers.
no, I'm saying, but I'm saying. We already knew where this was going. This is a prequel, and everyone keeps saying like we already know he's gonna live. This show manages to still do something.
It does a good
to
job.
change everything. So,
Agreed.
so let's not get it twisted. Like this show didn't have any surprises up its sleeves, because boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Yep.
This part where they were meeting up, him and Gay, like that shit was
Oh yeah.
fucking phenomenal, dog. Like the visual from it, the back and forth, everything that it did. What's up,
I
Zo?
felt bad for this guy, man. Luthen just killed his ass right there.
Yo,
Well,
right, and that was fucked up. I was like,
I mean, I
didn't-
get
You're in the
why.
end game, bro. You're in the end game, bro.
I get
Yep.
why, but I felt
No
bad.
loose ends.
I felt bad.
No
there
loose
were no
ends.
loose ends. Oh, you're right, Steve. It was endgame shit. It was like, oh, they know? Yo, his face was like, they know? Oh shit. All right, cool. Blasted his ass and kept it going and moved.
I like
on.
how it gets revealed later when it's just like the Imperial guys are like, "Hey, we found him dead in the park," and then it shows him. I'm like, God damn! Like, because after their meeting, you just see Luthen running down the stairs, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, it's just really cool how they reveal everything.
Yeah, and then the little Lothcat dog thing.
It's a
Yep.
genre.
I don't think it was a Lothcat though. I think it was called something else, like a Zarek or some shit like that. Like I heard, but it was cool.
Oh yeah. No. Lonnie rang the bell. He knew he was burned and it was coming down.
Honey, for the fucking win, bro. With
Yo!
that little motherfucker right there, there's nothing.
Yo,
There's nothing.
Lonnie
There's
was like,
no Luke. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
yeah,
Lonnie
was like,
for
yo,
the win.
yo, they don't want to me. And listen, I gotta tell you, I gotta get the fuck out of here now.
And you see, like, it's because Lonnie stole Daedra's password and she wasn't deleting emails she wasn't supposed to be getting.
Oh yeah.
That's how this whole fucking thing falls apart, because of bureaucratic bullshit.
She was
Because
pulling
the
a
IT
Hillary.
department, she got CC'd on the wrong fucking email. And now the Jedis can come back. Fucking dummies.
Real world shit here. Yo, we fucking with real world shit. I love it though. Love it. Keep it going. Got it.
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right in the chest.
Bang,
Felt bad
bang.
for him, man.
And of course,
He got a wife and kids.
yeah. Well,
No, you don't know.
now here's the
Not anymore.
other evil question is like, if the Empire thinks that he's a leak,
Cackling. I'm sorry, Steve. Not anymore. It's like, what?
Lonnie.
Evil as shit. Fucking redheaded ginger.
These kids have no souls, anyways.
so that's the dark part. I mean, the Empire being how they are in this show, I don't think his wife and kids, I don't think they survive.
But
No,
here's
They're
the
not going to
thing.
leave any loose ends either.
Here's
No.
the thing, though. Who's darker, the rebellion or the Empire?
Well,
Luthen told you.
Luthen's empire, Luthen's rebellion is dark as shit.
Well, he
But
told
then
us
again,
early
Well,
on.
Luthen saw you got all those guys, and you're like,
I'm
this-
forced
but
to
this-
use
but
the
this is
tools of
crazy
my
part.
enemy.
it's true,
Right, but this is the crazy part though, Lil. There's only we from the original trilogy, we only seen one faction of the fucking rebellion. Remember, there's Saul shit, there's Luthen shit, there's other factions that are just
But Saw shit dies in
Yeah.
Rogue One. So.
Yeah, but there's a different fraction of the rebellion though, and it's like, yo, there's every we don't remember in the original OGs, we ain't know none of that shit. We just
Right.
seen Yavin,
Yeah.
and that's what we seen. We got a chance to open this whole thing up, and it's better. So it's crazy. This scene was amazing, dog.
Oh,
Amazing.
And the little back and forth was
yes.
nice. She busted that piece out. You see Luthen's whole fucking face
Shit.
change.
Change.
You're like, oh, God. Glued to the screen.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So
It was just, I was like, damn, she's good. Like she just, and the way they just played it off each other, man, was phenomenal. It was great.
She had one move. It was like she needed to make this move, and if she makes it and it's a success, she's the hero of the Empire. But if she fucks up,
And she did.
as soon as Luthen dipped to the side, I was like, "Oh, you fucked up. Now you fucked up." Now here's where I was hoping beyond all hope that this motherfucker was gonna whip out a lightsaber right there and slice that fucking that blaster in half.
Again, a
But,
disappointing moment, right? Like he didn't, and it's interesting.
Oh man, no problem,
Oh, yeah.
man. Just, you know,
Hey,
always
Star Wars Addict, if you could put it in our chat feed, put the link to the oh my god, I was
GoFundMe.
but GoFundMe. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Appreciate it, man. But yo, no, this I didn't like Steve. I was waiting. I wanted him to fall out. So I wanted to do some force shit or some shit. But then when she said that the shit is surrounded, I thought he was gonna go out like a G. He went out like a G though, but he ain't go out like I wanted him to.
Yeah,
go
I
out.
half expected like the building surrounded, and then like cuts to a shot from outside.
Right, like to me, that's what I wanted. I wanted him to have devices set up. Like he has to have had like I don't want to say tripwires, but explosives set up around, right? Like his end game, right? Like
That's
if shit goes sideways. But I mean, you saw it telegraphed it when he showed her the knife, right? Like at that point, like he was putting that in his hands, showing it to her because he knew he was going to take his own life. But I would have liked that. Thank you, Fernando. The right word, like a fail-safe plan, right? Where all of a sudden everything goes up,
But,
and I would have loved the end for her that way because, like, her end.
Why did Luthen stab himself in the belly? Like, get yourself. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it. Like,
yeah,
they got you with your little tummy tube, and you're all fucking better now. You're
the only good death in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street when that dude in the very beginning took that steak knife and slit his damn throat wide open. That's what you do.
Don't get much blood in the Star Wars universe, but there's some right there.
Well, that's your typical Star Wars Japanese tie-in, opening up your stomach.
Oh. Yeah, fuck Ed, goddamn.
I guess we got to watch more of those movies.
Kurosawa films. Yeah. I guess so.
So this is when we find out that they realize that Lonnie's dead and things went sideways with that. But they also called off the meeting because Dedra went rogue and it didn't work. And everybody's pissed.
Yo, so that was the crazy part for me is I didn't know she went rogue. Like they made it feel like this was her assignment and like she did her thing. Then she comes back and they're like, oh yeah, she went rogue. She fucked up the whole thing. And that was it. I was like, damn. So she just didn't even give a fuck about nothing. She thought
she wanted access. Access was her goal.
Yeah, it was her white whale.
Yeah.
And she was not going to turn away from it. And then, of course, the whole thing that she needed the glory. If she'd have went in guns ablazing, they'd have captured him. But she had to go in and gloat. You think the bad guys should never monologue?
God, it was the monologue, and Ed, that's what it was. she got caught.
Well, that's where Steve, you were talking about like making the Empire like smarter and like more useful, and I'm like, no, they made some really fucking dumb mistakes here. Like, doing different things.
They were much more. I feel like you saw like the bullshit happening in their ranks, but they were much scarier. The Empire is scary.
They were scarier, but they still made dumb mistakes. Like
but,
these guys.
Here I am,
all these decisions.
All upset that fucking Cyril is dead, so no more punchable face guy. And then Andor introduces this fucking piece of shit right here. This guy on the left,
he was punchable. Oh, well,
he's mouthing off to people that could tear him apart with their bare hands, but because he wears a little badge, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he got his comeuppance though, Steve.
Oh, I know, it's so good.
Oh, this is a great tie-in. This is a great tie-in.
Yes. We get the CSI version of the Empire, and I didn't realize that he parked his ship basically right in behind his shop, which was kind of cool. I mean, it was you open the door and he's in the Hullcraft. So again, it would have made sense and would have been cool if there had just been that fail-safe, just blow it all up. But
that whole CSI, all their little gear, their little uniforms when they're pulling out, and they have all their shit. Like, I thought all that was so cool. But it's like it just makes you realize that there's so much more to Star Wars than just the little battles that we've seen. There's this dude with the CSI trained for years. Like, he's got a whole life story. He's over here dusting for prints. Luthen's fucking, goddamn, it's just so intricate.
And she goes back to the same old safe house to pull out some gear because it's time for her to go to work now that Luthen's been taken in. And we get our first flashback. Now,
go fuck God, just to let you know.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm gonna go and do what I do. So I made the prediction in season 1 that he was a Jedi. I'm not totally convinced that that's still not possible because the timeline piece is in here. So there's still some things that are just, they don't fit. So this whole scene with him, now I don't know what planet they're on, but they show the Mud Troopers. If this is on Mimban, which is the whole thing with Han Solo,
yeah,
the timeline fits with her because I don't know. Let's see, what is she, like 13 here?
Yeah.
And when we see her in regular time portion, they say that she's in her early 20s, so 10 years ish. That fits with Mimban. I mean, it lines up. Now, when Luthen said in season 1 that it's an equation that he wrote 15 years ago, that was Order 66. This was after that.
Yeah,
So,
but the problem with this is that they didn't tie that up if that was the case.
He's not. I don't know how much more we're getting of Luthen.
No, yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying that even with what they gave us, it's still. There's still some missing pieces.
You're gonna. I love the idea of Luthen as a Jedi, but I think at this point you're gonna be.
I'm dying on that hill.
On that fucking hill, you're gonna be.
I'm dying on that hill.
And that was one of my other disappointments, right? Like, why did he have that Kyber crystal? Why was it so important to him?
Yeah,
well, there's some other stuff that we'll get to even in this episode that still goes back to that. So
no, but like the de-aging.
Oh, it looks good.
Top notch. Very
top notch de-aging.
But however, Sean, you didn't spend a lot of time with that.
No,
and you didn't get a lot of Luthen back and forth to like kind of analyze it with your head. Like oh, that looks different. So like it was quick cuts, so it worked.
Yeah.
And for most of the intro, it was somebody else looking at him through a grate. So it was really easy to like hide it. Yeah,
very true. And he had that dirty face and everything because he was, so it's like it was easier to hide the seams.
It worked though.
It did.
I like that. Like we realize here that the Empire, like the people that work for the hospital in Coruscant, are like, God damn it! Would you like? They're fed up with this Empire shit. They are like, look, I'm not moving all these fucking people. Are you crazy? And they're flexing their muscles. But it's just cool to see that like nobody likes them. Nobody's cool with this.
Yeah, no one's cool with the fucking Empire shit, though. They just like, fuck you.
Like fucking tweaker eyes on full display right here, man.
They were like this deep, weren't they?
she was like fucking rubbing her teeth and shit, man. It's wild.
Yo,
this was awesome.
Love the lockers, dog. The lockers were top notch.
If I ever own a building that has lockers, I need them to be this. Like, I want them to be this. Like somehow. Like,
I agree. Fucking best lockers ever, dog. I'm like, damn, how do I get one of those? Like, that is some great shit. Like, it was very Star Warsy. It made it work.
Yeah. Simple to make. I mean, it would just be you would just turn it and it would close the circuit and rotate a gear. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult, but
yeah, but the wall, you got to design the wall. You just can't put a hole in the wall and put a brown circle on it and be like, hey, it's right. But
I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna make it.
You do that. Send one to me too.
And Dedra is under arrest. She went rogue and he showed up with the ISB marshal.
Yeah.
She tried to call out. She goes, oh, well, I got to call in to the colonel. And he's like, who do you think sent me?
Oh, she thought her shit didn't stink too. She was like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Oh, how they fall from grace.
Yo, that scene right there, when we get to that shit, her and Krennic, damn.
Yeah, we'll get there. I will go back real quick to that last slide because I just the trench coat game that the Empire has in Andor is top notch. I mean, The coat game. The Empire is rocking the coat game, bro. They are fucking owning that shit, dude. Look at those fucking lapels, bro. They're so big.
Yeah, it's so strong, dog. Like the trench coat thing is crazy.
Goes hard. This was cool. I like this. This felt like Fallout almost, right, Ed?
It did.
Yeah.
Like with the almost post-apocalyptic junker kind of.
Yeah.
Well, you figure that there's probably so many worlds like this because of the Empire.
I love the fact that he just kind of made her his daughter. Like, she's my daughter. Like, you know, like that kind of that dynamic just kind of worked. Like, you know, because it wasn't his kid originally, and he just took her in and you know, created something that like it worked. Like, I thought that was great. You know, keep it moving. This was fun.
This is what I'm talking about, the Empire being more evil. Public executions, anybody? With kids? That was on Disney.
Yo, right?
See, the Empire's teaching a lesson. Don't take shots at us. You take shots.
No stormtroopers didn't miss. And even if they did, it wouldn't matter.
No, just lined them up.
I felt bad, dog. Like, it was like, yo, fuck you, Empire. Because I was like, because the little boy was like, he breathed hard and closed his eyes. I was like, damn, like, you talking about that hurt, man.
But
I
he
was
didn't.
like,
Right before they shot, he opened his eyes like and looked up at him like super pissed. Like, and the girl, Luthen's like, let's go. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay. And she like watches it to like cement her hatred for the Empire. Like, it's like that is like the final. And now she's like, yep, my mission is now decided. And then she runs off to join Luthen on his fight.
Yeah. I love this scene though when he was like, look and look around you.
So
this is Naboo, right?
This is Naboo.
Okay.
But this goes back to my other, like I said, the hill that I'm dying on. When he says, think about where you are. I immediately think of Qui-Gon saying, keep your concentration here and now where it belongs. It's the same kind of thing. Like, stay focused in the moment.
But maybe it is like that. It's like him training her to be a rebel spy, an espionage and shit. But he's doing it in the same way. It's like a reflection of how a Jedi would train his Padawan. It's just their way of being like, look, it's like that. It's just this.
Yeah, and that angle is a story beat that you can use for anything. But like, it worked for this. And although you agree with me, like you can use that story beat for anything, and that just works. It's just the tie-in worked really well because
you know you're training a spy, you're training a mercenary, it all fits.
Yeah, agreed.
So he's trying to protect her innocence as much as he can, and he just needs. And he even says, he goes, "I need to know that you are making the choice." And there's again another one of the lines to. Because he says, I lived most of my life without even realizing that was a possibility. So again, if you're raised in the Jedi Temple, you don't realize that there are choices. You are given your path, and that's it. So again, there's a lot of like hidden pieces that could mean something. Maybe it doesn't. I still think it does.
Well, I mean, he was in the military right there, right? And maybe he was a young person raised within the military, and you don't have a choice when you're in the military.
I was going to say, but that wouldn't. I don't know how that would have been the case because prior to that, it's the Clone Wars. You're a clone or a Jedi. There are no civilians.
That's all we saw. It wasn't just clones fighting in the Clone Wars.
And we're gonna have to move past this Luke shit, bro. We're gonna be here all fucking night.
Yo, no, it's over.
You know what I can believe? I believe that you believe Luthen's a Jedi, and I'm fine with that. I like that about you, Ed, and I appreciate that about you. But we need to move the fuck
stand on your hill, bro. But listen,
here you go, Ed. This is what should have been done.
It's an ET alien.
Here's what should have been done to solidify that Luthen is a Jedi. The fact, instead of bringing that dagger to Deidre, he should have brought a hilt and then taken the stabbing with the hilt.
Could you imagine that? If
lightsaber just going right through him at that moment.
Whong, the saber just
and then that's it. That's all you need. Right? Then you can go and die on your Jedi hill. But they didn't go there.
That would have been really good, Will. That would have been really good. That would have been good.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he alien? Is it?
Sure.
You think so?
CT's
No.
cousin.
It kind of looks
Hey,
like from
hey,
this angle. It kind of.
Hey, wait, real quick, because I'm a little bit on Ed's Hill a little bit. I'm walking down now. I just want to let you know, yo.
I keep
Steve,
trying to change the subject.
Steve, wait. Would have been dope though if he pulled out the little lightsaber that the boy from fucking whatchamacallit had from Acolyte. Yo, that would have been tough. And he just
started going
he,
ding, ding, ding.
he hands Deja the hilt and she's like looking at it and he just whips that thing out. Yam. Just gets her right in the belly.
So
Shakes
Well-
her.
we'll save it for when there's one of those times that there's a lack of content, and I will put together my Luthen murder board.
Let Ed
Let's
cook.
do it.
I'll go through and I'll break down all
Next-
the evidence that I have.
next
but
You
we'll
know
save
what?
it.
I can't wait.
I
to
expect
sit
it
here.
next week.
I-
Oh, no,
we need
Tales
to have
of the
like
Underworld.
we need to have
That's
like
right.
a court session where you bring your evidence to the court and try to sway us. And we will say yay or nay.
Challenge
I
accepted.
present to you Exhibit A. Interesting. Objection. All of this with her getting into the hospital, which is locked the fuck down, was just awesome. The way she just weasels in and out of everywhere,
Steve,
bro.
It was like Mission Impossible, but like she just fucking made it work. Oh,
And then she's like, she finds a way to get rid of most people, but then there's still those stragglers, and she's just like, fucking dome shot. Like,
yo, right? Yo, the stormtrooper, the armor is fucking like plexiglass.
useless. It's
Yeah,
like
it
it's
is.
almost like the armor is made of a material that sucks whatever blaster bolt is around it into it faster and through itself. You know,
It
like
is complete trash.
it's
I
wild.
swear.
Because she hit one guy in the belly, he just died straight up, like
Yo, straight dive.
Like,
I
come on,
was
dude.
like, well, damn.
through the armor. Like she hit you right in the armor.
So it depends on the blaster, because we also see that with K2SO, where
Nothing.
a lot of them bounce off of them, but not all of them.
Everything that they're shooting bounces off of him. Like it's just kind of like convenient. I think you know what it is. The armor is convenience armor. When it needs to be strong, it is.
Oh,
But most of the time, it's fine.
shit.
So
It's
this
just
is the end of
oversight.
10
You know what I'm saying?
and the end of Luthen.
That was it.
And
It was a
that-
weird death. It was like, oh, that's it. Like, and we all
Exactly.
Unplugged
That's-
them.
I agree.
She
That's
just
one of my
unplugged them.
nits to pick.
No, I you know, on one hand you could say like that's it, yeah. But on the other hand, it's she has to kill him. He has to die.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, the secrets are going to come out. The Empire will find a way to
Bring
get
that.
shit out of him. He won't say anything voluntarily, but they'll do shit and get shit out of him.
Yeah, like that droid with the droid with the needles that was coming at Leia. You know,
Didn't work.
I
She didn't give
kinda
anything
wish-
up.
I kind of wish you put a detonator on the bottom of that shit. Just kind of blew it up. Like,
well, that's
it
what I
would've been-
thought.
it would've
I
been
thought
all that.
I thought the hospital would have been blown up. I
thought
thought she
so
would have
too.
started placing shit everywhere.
And that's
as she walked out,
But on one hand, yes, mass pandemonium, destruction. Oh my God, it's crazy. But on the other hand, it's kind of like the biggest fuck you ever to the Empire. Like we took one person, one from our rebellion, walked them through your whole lockdown shit, fucking killed a whole bunch of your cats, took out our own person, and got the fuck out of there without even so much as a nothing.
without a fucking beat. Like, yo, she
So,
walked out that bitch clean.
You think you got something on us? Good luck. Like
Yo, but this is the crazy
it's,
part.
It's a big like slap to it's nice. It's a nice like
Oh, yeah.
fucking stick of
Yo,
food.
Yo, but it was a big fuck you, because even when he went back, and we'll get there, when the audio with Karis and he went through that fucking audio at the when the not the moth dude, but you know the leader of the the
Yeah.
whole Empire shit, like that shit was beautiful too. But we'll get there. I'll talk about it when we get there. But again, the camera aspect from this where he died in the light,
That was the
beautiful. But go ahead, go ahead.
longest fade to black scene.
It was great.
It was just took forever, but it was fitting.
Yeah. He
So-
died in the light though, because he always thought that he was gonna die in the dark.
Because he's a
And, like,
Jedi.
Oh, yeah. But it was the light that, like, it was a great scene. It was just great cinematography. Phenomenal. But go ahead, keep pushing.
Oh yeah.
Great dog.
He is laying more.
Wow.
If you've ever gotten laid into at work, like This is kind of like that, but like on steroids. Like
Oh,
this is
yo,
so bad.
Yes.
When he put his finger on her fucking head, I was like, damn. I was like,
It's so
that was
disrespectful.
that
It's
was
like
so
he
disrespectful.
spent 3 hours in your. It's like,
Yo. And the
Uh.
way he broke it down and the way she tried to be like, oh, I did this. No, you didn't do shit. And you're going to be punished for it because I thought she was going to get out of this shit. I'm not going to hold you. Like, I thought she was going to walk away clean and like, yo, you did something, whatever. Nah, Krennic was like, fuck you. Yo, you're going to punish. I don't want to ever see you again. That was it.
Well, that was my first thought when I saw that Krennic had showed up and turned off the recording device. I'm like, oh, he's coming to bail her out because she did her work on Gorman.
On Gorman, yeah.
No. But then you find out during this interrogation that like he's like, and what about this? How many of these emails did you read? And she's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have opened those. And I'm like, ooh, you fucked up. You did make a mistake.
A lot of mistakes.
Like so even besides all the other shit, because he was okay with like, okay, he stole your password. That's cool. Like I could understand that. I could see how a spy could get in and steal your password without you knowing. Great. But how the fuck did he get that information? It's because you had information you weren't supposed to fucking have. And oh man, it was so
her
good.
fucking leak fucked everything up for the Empire, dog. That one fucking mistake you fucked up has now destroyed 2 Death Stars. Well,
you opening that email chain. The direct result of that is Palpatine getting thrown down a fucking chute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but this is fitting for history because how many of us have watched like the World War II documentaries and they're like, this one moment in time, because it went left instead of right, changed the entire course of the war. Right. So same thing, like stupidest things change.
He even tried to say Death Star. He was like, bitch. He was like, what you mean Death Star? Don't be saying that. She, like, it felt weird, like when she said it and the way that he kind of like, don't say that. Like, it's not.
Well, he told her to say it. He was like, say it.
Oh, yeah, he did tell her to say it. Yeah, he did say it.
Say my name.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just awesome. And then he like leaves and she could see them through like that window. And the way he just looks at her and fucking like shakes his head and he's like, whatever. And he just walked away.
I love that camera angle though. Like when they showed it and like you seen her face and then you seen like this them watching it was just like, damn, that was crazy. It was good. Mm-hmm. Very well done. Again, she moved through that bitch like it was just like fucking slicing bread. Like she was like, and then it felt like she was like, yo, look at me now. Like she moved through everything else, but then after the fact, she's like, look at me now. I just fucking broke your whole shit.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
And he was trying to figure out every way to go, oh, that's on Dedra. That's on Dedra. That was on her. Like he didn't want to take blame.
He wasn't taking any of this shit.
No.
Yeah.
He's so punchable because he tries to blame everything for Dedra and then he goes and asks her for help. We're not there yet. That's right.
Time to call for a pickup. She's got her hidden away old school radio tied in there.
This was great.
Willem.
This was that K2SO scene though, where they were playing dominoes. I fucking love that whole scene though, because he was like, "Are you cheating? Like, are you doing this? Are you doing like? Wait, what? I calculated all this shit. It didn't work the way you went." And they're like laughing, but the round table is going back and forth. The camera, like that, it was beautiful, man. It was just, and it made K2SO such a great character on like as a robot. We all knew K2SO was great anyway. But it was just like phenomenal how they did it.
Absolutely.
Is that the name of the game?
Is that what it was? Okay. I didn't know what they was playing. I have no idea. I was just saying domino, motherfucker. Domino.
So they know who they're after?
Yeah.
And Krennic is telling the young guy, get your shit together and go find her yesterday. Partagast comes up with the brilliant idea about that she's infected to get everybody to look for.
It's pretty good.
That was
It's pretty good because they can use the footage from her leaving the hospital and be like, look, she left by stealing a uniform and she's severely infected. This is who you need to let us know where she is. She can kill millions or thousands, whatever it is. It's good. It's a good angle. I was like, ooh, as soon as they said that, I was like, motherfucker, that's pretty good. Like, that was a good one.
And the exchange after he leaves and it's just Partagast and Krennic was fantastic with the two of them. Because it makes it seem like Partagast probably should not have known about the Death Star either. But since he's kind of the head of the ISB, he just knows shit.
No.
And then he tries to call out Krennic, being like, you should have been done this like years ago.
Yo.
Krennic goes on his thing and he's like, no, save that for the Emperor. Don't feed me that bullshit.
Yo, but then he was like, yo, good luck to you too. Like,
oh yeah.
Because you're screwed just like I'm screwed, dog.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yep.
Partagast, like, he just knows. He's just like, oh man, it's all falling apart right now.
Oh, in a big way.
Well, it begins to fall apart when he starts to hear everything, and it really just.
But just this conversation with Krennic really, like, I think it, and what's happened with Daedra, like, it's
all unraveling.
He just sees it all happening.
Yeah, because that's when they sent him to where they sent him. They sent him to Scarif, right?
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He was 2 hours late for a meeting on Scarif.
Yeah, that was his end game. So we all know how that played out.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, we all know because this is only the beginning of all of these leaks that Tarkin uses against him.
Yeah.
Just paints him into a corner.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy how it plays.
Like, because how he's doing everybody here at the ISB, that's what Tarkin does to him later.
Yep.
There's always a bigger fish.
Downhill, man. So good. Here's
part of that fantastic cinematography where you've got her right in that little tiny window in her cell.
Little tiny window, and they did that multiple times in this shit.
Yes.
This is where Punchy McGee fucking asked her, like, what how do I find her?
Yeah. Well, and she's great.
And she helps.
Yeah, she's like, there's a cell right here for you.
Well, she thought. I think she still felt like she was going to get out at some point.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like, if I help him and we get this thing, and he'll say, "Oh, I helped," maybe that'll get me out. But even if they were to get her, due to her intelligence,
nope,
he would never give her any fucking
no, not at this point.
Kind word. So,
nope.
I'm pretty sure she's probably happy she wasn't there.
This asshole on the left down here, fucking. I felt some type of way about this guy and his fucking holier than like, you need to shut up, Mr. Man, because these guys have been doing this rebel shit since before you even showed up on base. So I don't know who you're trying to give orders to, pal. You know,
no.
Pal.
But it was great. I mean, Willem's what? A good 6-8 inches shorter. And he just stood nose to nose and was like, you do know that none of it exists without Luthen. So
Agreed.
Shut your mouth and know your role.
It is crazy though,
like how they said that last part.
It's kind of crazy how they don't give Luthen his comeuppance because of what he did and how he created all this and how he started it. But they're taking more credit for what they did than what he did. And because the way he handled it, they didn't like the way he handled it, because you can see it like in Organa and well, Moff is kind of like, well, yeah, we know where it came from, but Organa's kind of like taking credit. I feel like he was taking credit for everything and kind of trying to be the leader of his rebellion. But Luthen's rebellion was underground. Nobody knew what it was. So it's a weird.
But it's just like Saw, right? It's just like Saw. So like they don't like the actions that Luthen's taking to get to this point. They think that there's a better way to do it, a more I don't know if say peaceful way, but a more strategic way. And Luthen, on top of that, seems like at the end, like, stop trusting anyone, stop doing anything, just kind of, like, became more of a hermit than. I mean, he hadn't talked to Cassian for a year, so there's something to that.
Something we didn't talk about when in the beginning, where after old boy told him what everything was, Luthen told Clea, Death Star, this, remember it. This, remember it. Like he kept telling her to remember everything that she's telling him, and she's in her head. Like all these are the beats that you have to tell the rebellion. And like I love that shit because it's like it was only
But
little.
she forgot to say Death Star, didn't she?
She did. I can't remember.
I don't think they knew
said
the
weapon.
name.
They said weapon.
Yeah, it was just weapon.
Was it weapon?
They didn't
Or
know
something?
Death Star. Death Star is only said by Daedra. Even
I
fucking.
thought he said Death Star. I could have swore I thought he said Death Star, but maybe I'm wrong.
Nope.
Go ahead. All right.
And talk about horrible timing. They're in Luthen's shop. The Imperial tech is talking about how brilliant the design work is and how they're tying into Imperial lines. And she's like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't do anything until they send a signal that they're doing right now. Shitty timing, but
no, but it was dope though. Like how she was like so enamored about how they did it. She's like, God damn, like they did all this and they connected it to like a tower that belonged to us, and they did it so well for years, and like we didn't know that shit. She's like, it's genius, and like usually they would pan to somebody to be like, bitch, like why are you talking like that? But like it didn't. It just kind of like, okay, we got a hint. But then she was like, oh well, yeah, I can't do anything until it's connected. And like they kind of,
but it's funny because it just gives you an idea of how big the Empire is, because you have the guys like Trenchcoat Mafia over here, but then you also have, techs like her who's just just a tech, and she's like, wow, this is like crazy awesome how they did this. Like this is really cool.
She's the Imperial IT department.
Yeah, they got to button up their fucking firewall and shit, their fucking password security, but.
And then they got to use the Ghostbuster device to track them down.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. I noticed that. I was like, is this a PKE? Yeah, I was like, did they just get a Hasbro PKE meter?
They did.
This was good. This was good. I loved how like they land, like the whole scene was awesome with Cassian landing and them getting into to the tower, and right before they get into the elevator, the radios get shut off. Everything goes dark, and like K2 is trying to fuck with the uh-oh. He's like, uh-oh, and then he looks at the Imperial ship lands. He's like, uh-oh. Oh, so good.
It was funny because he was like a little kid. He was like, oh. He got down in the chair, was like, oh. And he's like waiting. I love that. Like K2,
because he knew he knew he was like, I'm gonna have to go do some shit.
And so this episode ends with them heading into the building, and Partagast is in the situation room, and they're just trying to tie it all together because, when this whole thing goes sideways, this is when Partagast really realizes, okay, I'm screwed. Yeah. Like, had I been able to, he was in the same position as Dedra. Like, if she would have pulled off the arrest of Luthen, everything would have been fine. If they would have pulled off finding her, then I think Partagast would have been fine. But
agreed,
too many screw ups.
Yeah.
So
this is how I'm saying, like the way it ended with them walking down the hall and it just ends. I was like, "Fuck you!" Next episode, like the quickest I've ever pushed the button.
I don't know how
I had to go right into it, dog.
Like, Lil said he went to sleep after that.
I was like,
wow.
What? So I was like, there's no way I can fall asleep on this shit, dog. I gotta watch whatever happens next.
Agreed. This is awesome. Like, don't move. He just dips.
Yeah, I love that shit. That was funny as shit. It was like, oh, what? Like, yeah, don't move. Fuck you. I'm going right to this corner again. I love the part when Andor was like, do not close the door. I was like, that. I like that shit because that was just a great tactic, but it kind of fucked them over because they got hit with a fucking blast, a fucking shot and shit. I mean, a thermal detonator, which was like kind of a what was that? Like
it was a
stun grenade
or something. Yeah, stun grenade, which was dope.
I love when they're like here on the radios. They're like, are we getting support from a droid or
no.
Yeah, they're like on the radio, like, did we order this? And they're like, no. And he's like, are you with us? Wait, hands him off the bridge. No. So he does so much damage.
It just effortlessly.
Just like squashing bugs.
Rolls right in. There's your stun grenade, which is kind of cool to have a little mini thermal detonator look to it.
I don't understand why they didn't move. Like they just stared at it.
That initial shock.
It was there for like a second, like not even a whole. It was like,
I mean, what can you do?
Like they're like, what is that? Oh shit!
You needed Steve Rogers to dive on it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't there for more because it blinked a couple times. I rewound it.
You know
I'm like,
what?
that's weird.
I'll get you into a room in a high tense situation like this with guns drawn and soldiers around. I'll throw in a grenade, and I'm gonna make sure that you have the fucking the wherewithal to get out of the way quickly before.
But these are trained people. This is not dumbass Alil.
Alil would have trained.
This is trained ass people. Exactly.
That's true.
You know what? I would have got out of the way. I would have got out of the way.
Having a panic attack in the corner.
I'd have been sucking my thumb in the corner. That's what I would have been.
Oh God, a thermal detonator.
He wouldn't have got stunned though. It would have been a great tactic.
I would have jumped on it.
This was brutal as shit. Human shield.
It was like a horror movie.
This was like Deadpool Wolverine when he used the nice pool. It held him up.
The guy was like, I'm not gonna shoot you. I'm not gonna do it. Ah, fuck it. Bam, bam, bam. Just it was a nice way for him to go out.
Dude, he broke his neck. It was like a puppet. It was like a fucking just a puppet. Like I was like, damn. You see the power of K2SO, which was great. I actually, we seen that in the last episode of, when they were on the Gorman shit, but like these is just strong as shit. I love when he showed up. He was like, I saved you. Something like that.
That's it.
I created
the path.
Yeah.
So casual.
Yeah.
So
and as they get away, that is the moment when Partacast realizes I'm fucked.
Yep. That's a wrap, Jack.
Yep.
I loved it though. Because of the playback, which he heard everything after, but I guess you got that scene already, so I'll wait. This was great. Like again, this is in Rebels too, and I think me and Ed were talking about it, but they've had a couple like back and forths on like hologram shit there while him and Moff were talking, and like again, at this point, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't trust anybody at this point.
Huffing too much Rhydonium.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know like how he got that, and now we know. Sniffing all that shit like cocaine, like he was, and then just kind of burst his lungs, like he just like breathing on a machine now. Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah, he doesn't trust anybody. He thinks they're all out to get him.
Yeah,
which is
crazy. Insane.
Andor's coming in hot, can't get through on the radio, and they send the X-wings up, and they make the comment that the blue leader.
Merrick would have shot him down already.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's not around because he would have gone straight to the guns.
Yeah, but Merrick went out in Rogue One like it was like nothing. So it's like the way they make it sound like he was like one of the ace pilots of the fucking rebellion. But we ain't only seen him like
he did pretty good for a while.
He
was doing some damage down on Scarif.
I don't know.
Out the AT-ATs.
I don't know. Did he? Did he take out the AT-AT? I can't remember what he did. I always thought it was the gunner ship that the guy like shooting.
Which we saw him in here.
He was one of the guys on road running.
Yep, running with Melchi.
Yeah.
So here's where Andor's passing along the message, and it's a wonder the rebellion actually accomplished anything because they can't agree.
Oh shit!
They're just so bickering back and forth, and it's even the same way when we get to Rogue One. Like, just run and hide.
Hey, Steve, did you peep out Organa's like little like cape, his half cape thing?
I just feel like I'm sad that it wasn't Smith's.
Yeah, I feel yeah, it's weird. It is.
I am weird too, but in these episodes, it wasn't as bad. Like the first time that I saw him, I'm like, damn it.
I kind of wish it was just him from the beginning, to be honest. Like it would have been probably okay if he was just it, but it is what it is. What can you do? Yeah. But at the same time, I was fine with it. It didn't bother me. You know what I mean? It was weird when he was like, Well, I guess we'll get there. I mean, I'm assuming you have a clip for that. Like you have a little thing for that when he's like, "May the force be with you." If I die or some shit like that, I'm like, damn. Like he didn't even go out like a boss. Like he just died.
I just like in this scene how Andor's relaying the message, and he has. I mean, these are obviously the leaders. He talks some shit on them. Like he gets in their face to the same thing, making the same comments that Willem did of like, no, you guys don't understand. Again, without Luthen, you're not here. He's like, you don't know him. None of you know him except for Senator Mothma.
He's like,
shut your mouth.
He's like, it's a damn shame that to see his image or his name tarnished by people that haven't given him a fraction of his sacrifice at sitting at this table.
Yeah.
Damn, it was really good. He dressed him down pretty good. And they try to say, stay in your course.
They just kind of laughed it off. That one lady was kind of like smirking. I was like,
I know.
I
don't like her.
I'm glad I don't see her again because I don't remember her in Rogue One. So
yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, she was in Rogue One. She was an asshole. She was an asshole in Rogue One too.
She was in Rogue One.
Yeah, she sucked in Rogue One too. She didn't agree on anything. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. So Mothma wants to believe it and sends Vel to go and give it the sniff test.
Yeah, because the damn rebels don't believe that there's a weapon. They don't believe that any of this shit is real that they just said.
Well, but the thing is that she and Organa even knew, and they're like, well, we knew that his power initiative was not legit because we'd been asking for information about it for years, and they just kept going, we don't have any of that. So, okay, now they're giving you what it is, and you don't want to believe it?
Which is crazy to me because in the story, Ahsoka is fucking working with fucking Organa, and like she knows that the Empire is draining kyber crystals. He tells her that in the fucking Ahsoka storyline. So like a lot of shit is like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how it really kind of is it's canon, but is it though? Like I don't know where the timeline is for Ahsoka in this and Bail Organa's character, because again, they tell the story. She tells him what's going on. He knows. I'm confused by that. Like, you just don't believe anything. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. But this was perfect. I love this part. I love this part because he's going back listening to the audio of what the rebellion is and what it takes, and he's listening, and he's like, "Fuck." He's like, they've been doing this the whole time, and we have not noticed anything. We thought it was just small shit. This time, and even Luthen says it. He's like, yo, it was this. Now it's everywhere. And he told Deidre that shit, and when they were in the thing, I was like, that was cool. Like how he just kind of explained it. Like, you think it's just this? Oh, no. It's more than what you think this is. This is just a small fraction. So you got me, but you still got a whole bunch of shit to fucking do, and they couldn't do it. And in this where he knew he was done at this point.
Oh yeah, he was going to go out on his own terms.
I love that.
He didn't want to be locked in a cell like Deidre.
No,
and they was going to kill him. I don't think they was going to lock him in a cell. He was going straight to Vader. He was getting the choke.
Well, and I love how the guy who came to pick him up, his subordinate, he knew what was going to happen. The stormtroopers reacted like they're getting ready to run in because they heard a gunshot, and he's just like, no, we're good. Trust me.
Yeah. Just let it.
He just took care of it himself. We're good. Just call in the guys in the black helmet that take the bodies away.
Hey, what blaster is that?
I don't know.
I thought somebody knew. I was like, it's not a DL-44. So
no,
it's cool.
It looks like one.
Yeah, it looks like one. It's got the same handle and the muzzle on it, but the center is different.
Yeah, it's all black too.
Vel meets up with Clea, and I think that Clea is kind of, well, we talked about her at this point, but I think she's lost because Luthen's gone. She doesn't know where she belongs. she never thought she belonged on Yavin because she knew that there was just the different ideology. And I'm sure it was probably just a relief for someone who she kind of went head to head with a number of times to be like, nah, you're cool. I got you.
Yeah.
It was a nice, fitting, touching end.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was just nice to kind of, they were going back and forth in the beginning,
Oh, yeah.
and they didn't have any real respect for each other. But now at the end, like Luthen said, you have friends everywhere, and that was a cool quote at the end. I like that.
They're getting the calls for, and this is where Rogue One picks up that the forget his name, the character who is part of Saul's group, who only wants to talk to Andor, but it fits the story of what Andor is trying to tell him. And of course, now they're like, maybe there's something to this. And that's when you get your scene with Organa too.
So Rogue One was 1 year. It wasn't 1 year before the battle.
1 year before Battle of Yavin, wasn't it?
Yavin.
Yeah, it's 1 BBY.
Yeah.
So
I thought it led right into A New Hope. Like,
well, that's if you look at the official Star Wars timeline, and I guess it depends on where you look, but you've got this season, this arc in the season as
but
one
Rogue
BBY.
Rogue One is not one day though, right?
No, but it's considered in that year of 1 BBY. A New Hope is 0 BBY.
okay, so because I was just trying to figure out like how long did that flight take and for Andor to find the contact and get this stuff. Like, was it a decent amount of time, or was he just headed off and like it was right there?
I think if you look at A New Hope, because that is the actual Battle of Yavin, so anything that's happening before that within that year is considered 1 BBY. So this is that entire year prior to that.
This could be in December and everything's happened, or not December. March or April and everything's happening in June, July. Okay,
yeah. I guess
couple months.
And then you get your closing where we go around the universe to follow up and see where are all of the characters.
I love
this
that
comes to an end.
I like that. What is it like not even a monologue?
I don't know why they showed her husband. Like, who the fuck cares about this dude?
Well, I think it was just an open end. Like, people were like, she just left, and
he's got a new woman, and
his new woman is that's the wife of the gangster.
Yeah,
he's shacking up with her. I guess
I like how Moff was just like, she was comfortable. Like it, she was so tense and so like, now I think she's just like, this is it for her. Like, this is where she has to be. And I like, she looked more comfortable than she's ever looked in Andor. And like, now she's like at home. Like, I like that. Like, that was cool.
She's awesome. Sitting at the cafeteria table with everybody.
Awesome shot of Krennic and the Death Star. Just
fucking great.
Visual.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Daedra.
on Narkina, which is kind of fitting.
Kind of fucked up though. It's kind of like when you look at her, you're like, damn, she was high and then had the low and then boom, rock bottom. And that's it. She's
building parts for the Death Star.
She'll die there. Like, that's fucking crazy, dog.
Well, as we know, whatever your sentence is,
she ain't escaping this time. Motherfuckers ain't escaping that easily now, dog.
Oh, they figured it out. It's all locked down
for everybody.
Andor's got his cool jacket as he heads off into the mission for Rogue One, strutting. And then we find out the droid's all right, and Andor's got a kid.
Everybody had a concern about that fucking droid. I didn't get it.
Of course.
I cared about him.
Oh, I'm playing now. I'm a baby. Like, I don't know if there's a little kid droid or what. Like, I guess it was in many ways.
It seemed happy, and that was nice, Sean.
Yeah. All right.
But seeing the camera come up on Bix and flip around, you're like, damn, during that year. Yeah, I guess it's been a year. So the kid's probably like, 2-3 months old. Like,
who's that baby? Who's baby? Let me see that baby. What's that baby's arc?
Yeah,
Is it Poe Dameron?
No, stop that.
Or will it be Ryan Gosling?
Starfighter? Oh shit.
Oh,
You know what? I'm not taking credit for that. That was Alex. He's
that's
like,
a good one.
what if that's Ryan? He made me sure. He's like, tell Ed I said that. I'm like, okay.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how you
Mark it down.
go with Cassian and Bix and you get Ryan Gosling out of that. That seems a little.
I mean, he's dirty up his hair, and it's just Ryan.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, sure. You just darken his hair up, you're good to go.
Darken his hair up a little bit. I mean,
it's a galaxy far, far away. DNA works different.
I mean, I don't know because they both Spanish. So come on, man. You can't be throwing. Now you whitewashing.
And you're gonna be whitewashing.
Now you whitewashing shit. So come on, man. It sounds more fitting for Poe Dameron
Right.
than it sounds
Maybe he become. Well, we already know Poe's parents because we got in the comics.
Yeah,
I know.
But maybe he is in Starfighter, and he's buddies with Ryan Gosling.
How do we know that Poe Dameron didn't change his name? How we know Bix didn't change her name?
Oh boy.
Like how
you're pulling a Jedi Luth.
I'm stretching.
With the
I'm on a
fucking
mountain
right
right
here.
now. I'm just saying, maybe
climbing your hill.
I'm doing my best to forget them three. So
So do you think that there's any opportunity to do spin-offs from various pieces of within this? Like, I know for me, I'd like to see more Saul Guerrero. I wouldn't mind seeing kind of a whole little something with his.
I'm done with Saul. I'm done with. Let's just chapters going. Like I don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah,
his cadence, and like listening to him talk like that. I couldn't do a whole season of that.
I couldn't do it. It was no fucking way.
Peppered in here and there is fine, but
like listen to the art.
You know what? if they did like a Marvel spotlight of Saul, where it's just a 45-minute episode,
I could do that.
I could be okay with that.
Yeah. Nah, I'm cool.
Saul Guerrero,
I wish we got
Wars story.
I do wish we got 4 seasons of Andor, and all these little gaps were filled in, and we got way more K2SO time and all that. I do wish, but I'm super happy with what we got.
You know what sucks? Rogue One ended very gracefully and beautiful, but at the end of the day, they made me like Andor as a character, and I wanted to see more Andor. I want to see more K2SO. I want to see more Jyn Erso. So I felt like they had a great story. It ended great. Like, again, I get it. But, like, I kind of wish they would have survived that a little bit. Like, it would have been a little bit more like, okay, now we can get more. We can do more with these characters. You set up a whole.
Maybe they did. Maybe the Force saved them.
So maybe that's why. The quality of this show is what it is because.
No, I agree. Steve.
Because they knew they only had so much they could say, and so the budget behind it knew it was never going to go past a certain amount. So just let's just do it.
Yeah.
It's not going to generate now we need to do 7 seasons of this. How are we ever going to pay for it? It's not that. So
yeah. It's such a good show. Man, you're going to follow up some really good shit after this, man. Like they did an exception.
Well, they don't have another show lined up, right? Because it's the Mando and Grogu movie next.
Right, that's it.
Ahsoka season 2.
Ahsoka season 2. I keep forgetting Ahsoka's coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, right now
it's going to be as good as this.
Andor season 2 has the highest critic rating of any live action Star Wars to date.
So this is crazy. And listen, you can't be shitting on Kathleen Kennedy, but now she did such a great fucking show. Like, again, she had to approve this shit. You can't be shitting on Kathleen Kennedy now, though. Like, it's like, oh, well, they find
you can, and people will, but
everybody finds an excuse. But like, again, like
you're preaching to the choir. We all appreciate it. We're not the ones, in forums blasting Kathleen Kennedy on the internet. It's not us.
I'm just saying, like, yo, give her just kudos because
it was a really good show.
Yeah, really great
I'll be
show.
interested to see where the fan percentage falls because, well, let's face it, we're only 24 hours from the final release. So that's going to take some time. I mean, the critics have already they've watched this weeks ago. So
Yeah.
to see, because I know it already creeped up a couple percentage points today from when I first put down my notes this morning to where I looked at it before the show started. So I'll be curious to see where this ends up.
Yeah. So
I just think I would just like Tony Gilroy to have another crack at a story that he wants to tell in this universe.
I
Agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he deserves that.
Give him a movie.
Yeah.
Does he?
I mean, well, he did Rogue One, right? So,
well,
he can do a movie.
but he came in and kind of saved it after the fact. It was already well underway. So it wasn't his from the beginning. Give him one to start with.
I don't know, man.
He's up there, man. He's up there, you know, the Filoni and those guys for me. He's right up there. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I give him a whole trilogy, man. Let him go. Let him cook. Let him cook. We make it the best Star Wars we've ever seen, man. Let that dude cook. So, all right, man. Listen, we said it all. We did it all. There's collection news, man, but it's late and ain't nobody trying to do all that right now. We'll talk about Hot Toys next week.
Yep.
When to get all this Andor stuff out, but we definitely make sure you like, subscribe, give us comments, let us know what we're doing right, let us know what we're doing wrong. If you enjoyed the show, please, like us and do all the cool stuff, man. We appreciate it.
Tales of the Underworld next week.
You had to say something, Lou?
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely go to that GoFundMe and
Yes.
if you can support, support or even sharing is helping, right? Getting it to more viewers. So
agreed, man. Scott's a good guy, man. Definitely, man. Kudos to that guy, man. Hope he gets better, man, and all that kind of good stuff. Listen, we sign off. This is Sean.
This is Lil.
This is Steve.
And this is Ed.
And may the force be with you
always.